Hello, Internet. The Morgan You Know podcast network presents Balls and Brew.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the flagship sports podcast here on the Morgan You Know podcasting network. My name is Rod Morgan. I will serve as your host. Jimmy Jamriska is the executive producer of this and every other podcast on the Morgan You Know podcasting network. We will hear from him in just a second. We called this show Balls and Brew because we talk about sports that involve balls in the way you probably do when you're sitting around with your fellas having a few brews. That's the name for the podcast. Go ahead and make sure you're following or liking or subscribing whatever way you can on your podcasting platform. I do not say that often enough, but it is incredibly important to Jimmy and Williams and Chris, who is not here this week. Make sure you do that, please. And if you are so inclined and find yourself with an extra second, a comment goes even further. Say, hey, the boys are doing a great job, and you'd be surprised how many people, when they open up their podcasting platforms, will then find out about this wonderful little entertaining show that we have. With that out of the way, Jimmy, week 8, are you excited?
I am pumped. It is halfway through this. Well, it used to be halfway through the season. Now it's halfway plus like another, 3/4 of the games next week. You never know what's going to happen in the NFL, and that's what I like about it. You never, ever know what's going to happen.
That is absolutely true. Someone, though, that we ask to do their best to tell us what's going to happen in the NFL is our football handicapper. He's our guy up here in South Bend. It's Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
What's up, boys? I tried to last week. Only went 1-2. I was only off by like 30 points on your guys' Colts Browns under, so that was embarrassing. But I did hit the NFL conspiracy game of the year with John Hussey and the Giants covering outright against Washington. So that was nice.
Listen, I must admit, when I listened back to the podcast, I imagined if we had our own video editing team, right? And they could put together like a JFK kind of style thing, right? Where you're standing in a courtroom explaining all that stuff, right? We could cut to a couple pictures of Kevin Costner. That would have been great for the pod. We don't have that kind of staff. We're all just volunteering in our spare time here, trying to do a good thing for the people. Who you're not hearing is someone who normally has an awful lot of spare time, because he is retired and old, and we really frankly are happy that he's not with us this week, because he would be getting an earful from me. And that he is, of course, Chris King. In his absence, we will at least say his name, but he will be back next week. Chris has not left the pod. I wanted to boot him off the pod, Jimmy, but he has not left the pod. He's just off for this week.
Rod, I have a prepared statement from Chris King.
Oh, okay.
All right. To the listeners of Balls and Brew, first, let me say that Rod was correct in guessing David Carr last week. Over the last few weeks, I've correctly predicted a few too many things. This has led to our producer to start believing anything I say or predict. It was not my intention to lead him or our listeners astray. And last week, I let it get to my head. This will not happen again. I vow from this day forward to make sure my co-hosts, producer, and most importantly, our listeners truly understand that I don't know anything. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
What an incredible statement from our guy there. What an incredible statement from our guy there. I couldn't say it any better myself, so I guess we just move on from there then, huh, Jim?
Chris is always wrong. That's basically what we have to do. Yep.
All right. Well, let's focus on what Williams said he was wrong about, that Colts-Browns game. You and I both in attendance for this game. It is Colts Rally Towel Day. I got myself a rally towel. I got myself a Gardner Minshew headband. I got myself quite a few Michelob Ultras. It was a good day at the stadium until, Jimmy, we got to the end of the football game. Tell us about who your heel of the week is.
Well, the heel of the week is this uncatchable ball rule. I am I'm a rule maker. Okay. Everyone who knows me knows that. If it's a call and it's against the Colts and it's the right call, it's the right call. No question. That ball was thrown. It hit the back of the end zone, like the wall behind the end zone, which is like 10 yards behind it. There's no world in which that is a catchable ball. And I think the eye in the sky Williams even looked at it, and it took the best game I have ever seen in person. Best game by far. Everything happened in this game, including that horrible call, Williams. Please tell me what's going on with this uncatchable ball rule.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like common sense needs to step in at some point, and it's unfathomable that a call that bad can be made in that crucial time period in that game. You cannot throw that flag there. You cannot do it. And that was after I came on and said, "Hey, the Colts got a good home field ref here going." And then the last two calls were just atrocious.
Well,
So yeah, the call before that I thought was bad, but I
it was
mean,
over. Game was over. Fumble. Game over. Colts win.
yeah, yeah.
No. It was pushing something that it didn't really have anything to do with anything. Rod, the
So
fans
bad.
were amazing in that game. We really were. It was 39-38 final, and the Browns, who ran the ball on the Colts all day long, had a 1st and goal from the half-inch line and decided to pass the ball 3 times and finally run it in. Rod, what a great game, but what a horrible end.
It really was. I like your definition of the focusing in on the uncatchable ball there because me and shout out to Dak Storm. It was his season tickets that got me into the stadium. His seats are just a little bit below the Bud Light party zone there, kind of over in the corner of that very end zone the Falcons were coming to. And I could have thought I had a shot at grabbing that pass at one point,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and then this is the pass that we're calling the defensive foul on. So, but I choose Jimmy to focus in on the positives. Okay. I choose to focus in on the positives. The Colts gave me an entertaining game. All right. They gave me an entertaining game. I went to one game last year, and it was the game where Matt Ryan threw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, right? I mean, it was an incredible game out of him, the one game that I went to last year. Colts didn't win this time, but it was an incredibly entertaining game. And you're right, Jimmy. I started going to games when I was an elementary school kid back in like 3rd grade time, right? So we're talking late 80s. Okay. I've seen a bunch of bad Colts football in the old Hoosier Dome and now over in Lucas Oil Stadium. But that was an exciting game. And I just really have no complaints. I wish the Colts would have won, but I just have no complaints other than the one you already enumerated.
Yeah, Colts are 3-4. Minshew did a lot of great things, had a couple of bad things as well. But Colts are 3-4. They're not out of it. Jacksonville's only 5-2.
All right, Williams, I want to ask you one thing that's kind of handicapper team overall season related. I don't know how much, it's a tough guy to talk about, but again, we're just talking about football here. What's going on with Deshaun Watson? I mean, honestly, what's going on with that guy? We had the tricky situation the couple of weeks leading in. Is he hurt? Isn't he hurt? Comes in the Colt game, gets a concussion, then says he's cleared for a concussion, but doesn't come back in. I guess we've had a statement from Deshaun. Help us out. What's a handicapper think about what's going on in Cleveland with the quarterback?
Yeah, it's weird. It's just it's a weird situation. My take is that they gave him all that guaranteed money, and he's just like, I'm gonna play when I want to play. This was what I'm thinking. I think the Colts win that game if he stays in. He was terrible.
Easily.
He was terrible in that first quarter. And the only time he's been good in the last 2 years was against the Titans, and the Titans have a massive pass funnel defense. So I don't know, man. The Cleveland, I wish they had that quarterback situation figured out and I wish Chubb was healthy because if they were, that's a Super Bowl contending team there with that defense. And I know that the defense just got tore up by the Colts. That was kind of a fluky. I think if they play that game 10 more times, there's no way there's 70 points scored in that game. But
Myles
props
Garrett
to the Colts.
scored 10. Garrett scored 10 essentially. You know what I mean? My guy, he might have been the best football player on the field that day.
He was. He took over that game, man. He was an absolute beast in that game. So, yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with Watson. It's not good though, and PJ Walker is not a very good backup. Even though we may have something on that later on that could be surprising for one of our picks.
Yeah, Jimmy, I want to go there. I know we're going to go to your face here, and I think your face pick is pretty good, but I must admit I'm a little disappointed that the face doesn't lead us into a Bears check-in at this point, right? I mean, I'm kind of wondering how he wasn't your face of the week, but go ahead and tell us who was.
Face of the week is Lamar Jackson, 357 yards with 3 touchdowns. The Ravens have always been a team, especially this year. It's like, it's the Ravens. They're not going to do much. It's Lamar Jackson. They stepped up and they did a terrific job. 5-2 on the season. Lamar Jackson, my face of the week.
Williams, I want to go to you on this because you've been a Lamar Jackson supporter. I know you cashed a ticket on Lamar back in his MVP season. I know you've always been a follower and admirer. You told us that things were going to probably be good for them with Todd Monken coming in. I think maybe they've even adjusted to that faster than you thought. And I think that defense is playing a little bit better than you thought it was going to, right?
Yeah, the defense got healthy and they finally were able to instill the passing game that Todd Monken has wanted to do from the start, but they've just had all kinds of injuries all over the place, man. Offensive line, running backs, defense. And so you finally got to see, and I tried to tell, yeah, we're going to take a shot at Chris here. I tried to tell Chris last week that the Denver or the Detroit secondary was a little overrated, and he was like, "No, no, they've played Mahomes," and I was like, "Yes, that was a good win. They played against Kansas City Week 1 when Kansas City's offense was not really humming yet, but that secondary got exposed last week, and Lamar was absolutely on fire." So. But I'll give Chris credit. Detroit is better than what I thought they were, but I thought they would get exposed here by the Ravens passing offense last week, and boy, did they ever! That game was over after the first quarter.
All right, Jimmy, you made Lamar your face. Let me ask you about the Ravens here overall. Where do you put them now as far as AFC contenders go? I mean, do we readjust what we think of the Dolphins, the Bills? I mean, how high are we putting the Ravens now?
Bills have struggled lately, so I think we do have to, and they're even struggling on Thursday night as we speak. Dolphins, they've got a lot of injuries too, so we need to watch that. I think the Ravens are right there. Ravens have had a lot of those years recently where every single person is injured on their team. This might be the year that they bring it all together and just don't have those injuries. So I think they are one of the favorites right now. I think easily one of the favorites in the AFC right now.
Shout out to Odell Beckham. We're talking about the Ravens being overall healthy, and Odell hasn't really played for him yet, but I'm not sure how much he would matter. Yeah,
he doesn't.
I'm not
count.
sure how much he would matter. So I'm going to take us into our Bears check-in right here. All right, I alluded to it a little bit. Jimmy, come on. How is Tyson Secret Bagent Man not the face of the week? Come on, Division 2, undrafted, got to win. Come on.
What a great win. 21-29, 162 yards passing with a touchdown. 30-12. This game was not even close, and it all had to do with Tyson Bagent. It did not have to do with the fact that the Raiders started Brian Hoyer at all. It was Tyson Bagent. Deonta Foreman, what does this guy have to do to start in the NFL? You know, well, everyone's hurt, so we'll just put him out there. Three touchdowns, 90 yards rushing. He had another, 30 yards receiving. He's just a beast. Last year, he was the same as well. I could have given him. I could have given the defense. I could have given Bagent. I could have given a lot of people the face of the week. But we have a Bear segment, so I thought I'd give Lamar a little love.
That's a good call. Williams, come on. What do you think of your Bears there? Were you excited to see a win out of Tyson Bagent, or were you just assume they not mess around and win any games at this point?
No, I thought that they would win. I thought that the game plan should be super simple if the Bears were smart, and I wasn't sure if the Bears were smart or not. But if you're a Division II quarterback, you could not have scripted up a better team to play. The Raiders play off coverage. All you have to do is double Max Crosby, and the rest of the D line doesn't really get pressure. So get the ball out quick. Rely on that running game. Deontay Foreman is underrated. He's jumping over everybody, scoring 2 touchdowns. And the Bears defense actually made some plays. Hey, newsflash, Brian Hoyer, 6-16 on the road now as a starter in his career. There's no way the Raiders should be laying 3 points to anybody in this league, especially on the road, outdoors. I mean, I think Hoyer's lost 12 in a row now that he started. So, and to me, the Raiders were coming off 2 close wins at home. Now they're traveling out of conference on the road, outdoors. To me, that was an easy fate of the Raiders there, and the Bears got a good win. Tyson Bagent looked good.
I think one of those losses that you're describing out of Hoyer came in a Colts uniform as well. I think he stepped in as a Colts quarterback and lost the game as a starter in that 12 game streak that you're talking about right there. That's Brian Hoyer's been around. He's seen some things. Let's go to my thing that people aren't talking about quite as much, and I believe that is the Los Angeles Rams. Now, I know that the Rams lost to the Steelers, so you might be asking yourself, why would anybody then be talking about the Rams? I tell you, I think the Rams are just a couple of bad breaks away from being one of the better teams in the NFC right now. I had questions at the beginning of this year about how much Sean McVay was going to be invested in coaching. I had questions at how healthy Matt Stafford was going to be. I wondered what Cooper Kupp could do when he came back. Who's Puku Nacua? None of it matters. The Rams have been one of the better offenses out there. McVay's got them playing. look out for the Rams in the NFC, something that people aren't talking about. And the reason I have to bring them up after a loss, I need to clarify something right here, okay? We believe in a couple of things on this podcast, and one of them is in Mike Tomlin, okay? But this Steelers team is a joke. I have absolutely no idea how they are winning football teams. They did not deserve to win this game over the Rams. The Rams played so much better than them. I have Pickett on my fantasy team. He is frustrating. The Rams are who we should be talking about coming out of that game, and not the Pittsburgh Steelers with their inept offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, who legitimately looks surprised when they score a touchdown because he's like, wait a minute, my plays don't lead to touchdowns. How's this happening? So, Rams, I'm giving you some love here on Balls and Brew. Mr. Williams, what do you think of that?
The Steelers are one of two teams this year to have been outgained every single game, and somehow,
Wow.
somehow, what, they're 4-2 or 5-2?
4-2. 4-2.
Yeah, and the only other team to be outgained every week is the Arizona Cardinals. So, um, yeah, it's we'll see. The I'll push back a little bit here on the Rams. That their defense, I thought, was playing over their heads the first month or so of the season. We're starting to see a little cracks in the armor with that defense. So we'll see if I'm with you on their offense. I think McVay and Stafford and Nakua and getting cut back, they've been awesome offensively, but I worry about that defense holding up going forward.
Jimmy, I know you're with me a little bit that you kind of wondered about where McVay is at. Are you surprised by what the how frisky the Rams have been? Because I know you wanted him to be a back-to-back Super Bowl champ and they let you down. So I guess I'm just kind of checking your Rams temp here.
McVay's lucky I even mentioned their name, but Matthew Stafford is one of my quarterbacks in fantasy because Aaron Rodgers and Anthony Richardson both good on the IR. So Rams fans, don't worry. Matt Stafford's next, baby. Let's go.
Oh no, the Jim
Yeah.
Riska curse continues. The black cloud that floats over so many franchises, unbeknownst to them, right? Unbeknownst
No
to them,
question.
there's a plucky little podcast going on in the Midwest, and every once in a while they're just like, "Hey, what just happened? Why all of a sudden?" It's kind of like when Harris walks out of the dugout in Major League and he yells out, "Hey, bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill," right? He didn't immediately know that messing with Joe Boo was going to get him, but then that bat, who did it strike right in the back of the head? None other than Eddie Harris, the crafty old veteran himself. Speaking of what, Jimmy?
You saying Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Hey, listen, let's not start a holy war here. All right, we're here to talk about football. Love Major League. Again, there is a Major League episode in this very podcast network's history. I'm sure there's a way you can find it one way or another. Me, Brett Westcons, Evan Altman, chop it up. It's good stuff. Let's move off of that and go to the fastest rising segment amongst niche football podcasts in the Midwest. It is Futures Market Watch.
Oh man, so this is going to lead right into that first pick. I think that there is value. If I would have told you before the season started that the number one pick in the draft at some point this year was going to be 60-1 to win the offensive rookie of the year, would that excite you? I'm taking a flyer here on Bryce Young, and it's mostly due to the play calling changes that we're going to see in Carolina coming up. Thomas Brown plays more up tempo and he has more pre snap motion. And I feel like Bryce Young, his best days in Alabama, they were up tempo. And you can get Bryce Young now at 60-1 to an offensive rookie of the year on DK. I know CJ Stroud is the talk of the town, and he's been awesome. I think Bobby Slowick has had a lot to do with that. And I know Puka Nacua is setting records. It's going to be tough to overcome this, but on some other books, Bryce Young's already down to 40-1. I know some super sharp people that are super high on Thomas Brown and his play calling for Carolina. I think Carolina is going to start scoring some points. And if you look, there's still a ton of football left. There's still 11 games left, guys. If you look after this week, there are 10 remaining games. 7 of them, you could consider them pass funnel defenses. So I think now is when you want to buy stock in Bryce Young. Maybe make a trade for him if you're in a super flex league, because so far he has not been good. But like I said, there's a lot of football left. 60-1. Put some pizza money on Bryce Young. We know that he's got the talent to do this.
Wow. You told me you had a long shot in futures watch, and if you would have given me a couple of guesses, I don't know how long it would have taken me to get down to a player coached by Frank Reich to rise up out of the ashes and become rookie of the year, man. But I will say this, you guys have brought this up on a couple of past podcasts. The Panthers have no incentive to lose. Their pick goes to your Bears. So you know what, Williams? You're absolutely right. If you get that 60 to 1 odds, okay, maybe you're going to be out 10 to 15 bucks, but if it hits, guess what? You're definitely going to always remember that 10 to 15 bucks at 60 to 1 odds. So, I listen, this is what Futures Market Watch is all about. So I love that pick. Jimmy, your thoughts?
Right now, he's got the 11th best odds to win Rookie of the Year. But look who's in front of him. Sam Laporta, tight end for the Lions. He's having a really good season, but they're not going to give it to a tight end. They're not going to give it to Jahmyr Gibbs with the Lions either because they're going to kind of knock each other out. Rashee Rice, wide receiver for the Chiefs. No, that's not going to happen. Jackson Smith and Jigba's the third wide receiver for the Seahawks. No. Devon, get the tables from the Dolphins. He's hurt. You don't know if he's going to come back or not. That maybe we'll see on that one. Jordan Addison for the Vikings not going to get it. Zay Flowers for the Ravens not going to get it. Bijan's got the name for the Falcons. Puka for the Rams is a great story, but CJ Stroud I think is your number one going against Bryce Young for that Rookie of the Year because Stroud is really having a good year for a team that's winning.
Listen, if you would have went with me at the beginning of the year, you'd have gotten some good odds on Stroud there, right? And now you can just throw a little bit of pizza money on Bryce Young and you're good to go. If either one of them ends up winning, right? You got yourself covered either way. That's what we aim to do here on the pod. Let's make some more quick money, some money to come on the games just this weekend. You won't have to wait till all the way at the end of the year. We are starting with those CJ Stroud led Houston Texans taking
that's
on
where it is.
Those taking on those Frank Reich soldiers themselves, the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, so we're going to go Houston, Carolina over 43.5 here. This is my first over. Oh, this is my first over of the year. And listen, we talked about Thomas Brown. He had some input in that game plan 2 weeks ago in Miami. Carolina went up tempo right off the bat, and what happened? They were up 14-0 on the Dolphins. And I think that, like I said before, I think Bryce Young wants to go up tempo. I think that was his most success when he was at Bama. And what has Houston struggled to do so far this year? They've struggled with their rushing efficiency and with converting red zone opportunities into touchdowns. The Panthers D, they're the worst run D DVOA, and they are bottom 3 in red zone defense. So Houston should put up some points here. And when you look historically, when you have a rookie quarterback coming off a bye, the over has hit over 60% since 05. We have 2 of them here, boys. We have 2 of them here. So we're like 120% to hit this, right? I mean, that's how math works. And I would not have guessed this.
Yes.
I would not have guessed this. Frank Reich's teams are undefeated off a bye. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that.
Frank Reich has an undefeated somewhere in his Wikipedia about his coaching history.
I mean, that's like three games though, right?
And now he's not calling plays, so now it's even more an advantage to the over for Carolina. Listen, the Texans are one of the worst third down defenses in football. I'm telling you, man, this Carolina-Houston game, sneaky over. Let's start out over 43.5 on Sunday. Let's get a W here.
Now, Jimmy, I know that you are a avid podcast fan just like me. Not only do you host numerous podcasts and produce them, you listen to a bunch of others as well. You get a lot of group speak an awful lot on some of those podcasts, right? A lot of similar trends coming through. I don't know how many people are betting on the Carolina Panthers for the rest of the year. You're only getting that here on Balls and Brew from our guy, Josh Williams.
Consistency is key. The over on this is terrific, Williams, because last week you did the under and they scored 70. This week you're going to do the over and it's going to be 6-3 final, and I'm going to love it.
If they score less than 15 points in this game, I'm done with the overs and unders. I'll just say that.
You heard it here. You heard it here, folks. All right, let's move on to a game versus one of the NFL's glory boys, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Kelsey of it all, the Mahomes of it all, the State Farm of it all, the Taylor Swift of it all, taking on the big turd that is the Denver Broncos.
Wow.
Rod, you are going to hate this pick on 2 different instances here, but let me let me get through.
Over.
Yeah, let me get through this whole thing, and
All right.
maybe it'll make sense. I am taking the Denver Broncos plus 4.5 in the first half.
Oh.
In the first half on FanDuel, you got to get that extra point because it's 3.5 everywhere else. My thinking here, I know that we have said that Denver D stinks, but the Broncos D is trending up. They held the Pack to 0 points in the first half last week. They held KC to under 24 a few weeks ago on the road at KC. And by the way, Nick Bolton for the Chiefs, D being out is big. That's one of their most underrated linebackers. And since the Broncos benched their corner Massey, he plays on the opposite side of Surtain. Massey was the worst graded corner in the league, and now Vance Joseph is getting some pieces back on that D. They've been playing better on defense. The Broncos need to run the ball here. They averaged 5 yards per carry the last time they played the Chiefs. They need to take the air out of the ball. And this is my thing here. Chiefs just played Denver 2 weeks ago. Traditionally, the second time you play a division foe, for the lower the scoring is in that second game, especially when that first game was within 3 weeks from playing the first. You're familiar with the other team's tendencies. Now let's look at the first halves at home in elevation this year for Denver. First halves, Denver up 13-10 on Vegas, up 21-14 on Washington, up 13-8 on the Jets, up 9-0 on Green Bay. You may say, Williams, those offenses all stink. And I would
Correct.
say that you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. But one more thing I'm looking at here is we mentioned KC just played Denver 2 weeks ago. They just had a back and forth first half versus the Chargers. You look ahead to what they have on tap versus Miami and Germany. Then they get a bye. Then they take on Philly in a Super Bowl rematch. How jazzed up do you think the Chiefs are here to be playing in Denver in snow? We're going to get a snow game in October. Yes, this is going to be a snow game in October. How motivated are the Chiefs going to be here? I think it's the exact opposite spot of coming out with your hair on fire. I feel like this could be a super sleepy spot for the Chiefs. And last but not least, ref stats. Brad Allen calling this game. Home teams under Allen are 61-49-3 against the spread since 2016. Home dogs are 24-14-1 against the spread. 65% since 2016. He's called only 42% of his penalties on home teams since the start of last year. And obviously, the reason we're taking the first half here is we don't want to be fading Mahomes in the fourth quarter because that's not fun at all. So that is my thinking on first half Denver plus 4.5 here. Kansas City, sleepy spot.
Okay, listen, I got 2 points here for you. All right. Neither one of them analysis related because that's not what I bring to this podcast here. Okay. First off, the reason I hate this bet has nothing to do with all of the spot on great analysis that you gave, right? But the reason I hate this bet is because we literally are telling our people to go out and in good conscience say to someone or their app, I guess, their artificial intelligence, that's who they're saying it to. I am placing a bet that I believe Denver will be getting beat by less than 4.5 points at halftime. Come on, that's a ridiculous bet to make. Nobody actually wants to make that bet. That's not fun. Nobody wants to do that. And 2, what you're not factoring in here is the Taylor Swift of it all. You say to me, Rod, she's been to numerous games. That doesn't matter. I believe through some sources and some things that I know, this might be her last game. She has a tour of South America coming up in November. I would imagine she's getting very close to having to start packing up for that, doing rehearsals, even getting down there, all of the above. This could be her final game. The Chiefs are absolutely not going to let Taylor down. This is a ridiculous bet because of what you're asking our people to do, and you're not factoring in the Taylor Swift of it all. Jimmy, your thoughts?
The best quarterback, Williams, that they have played at home this season, I think, is unquestionably Zach Wilson.
Ouch.
It ain't Jordan Love, Sam Howell, or Jimmy G, or whoever the Raiders had. So that's tough. However, it's not a stretch because you never know what can happen. But the Broncos are just bad, and I don't understand why you would even do this to yourself. You're better than this, buddy. I worry for you.
Contrarian thinking. Everyone's going to be on the Chiefs here.
Yeah, all right, listen, you
For
are
good
big
reason.
on being contrarian, yeah, but sometimes Jimmy's right. Sometimes everybody's on something because there's a reason to be on it. So let's move to those hated Browns. As much as I liked them at the beginning of the year, now I hate them because they just beat my Colts and ripped a victory away from us. But they're taking on They're taking on my pick for coach of the year. The old guy still got it, Pete Carroll. I don't think I got a chance on that one anymore, but the Seahawks still got a chance in the playoffs. So they're good sometimes, the Seahawks. I don't know how to read them. Maybe Josh, you got a better call on them.
Well, I mean, you might hate this pick too now because I'm going to take Cleveland +4 on Caesars. You're going to get better than a half a point here on Caesars. I think the other 3 books that I look at, they have this at 3.5. Or
Is this for
even
the entire game though, or is this just for the first quarter? Is this
for
just
the entire
first
game?
Quarter scoring?
First 3 minutes.
Game. So Seattle's offense has done a much better job versus zone than man. The only problem with that is that Cleveland plays man at a super high rate here. And Seattle is last in yards per attempt versus man coverage this year. They're top 3 in yards per attempt versus zone. They average more than double yards per attempt, 9.4 to 4.3 when it comes to zone versus man. Geno is really bad against man coverage. He ranks 35th out of 38 quarterbacks. And like I said, the Browns play man at a top 3 rate. Browns are first in QB knockdowns. They're top 5 in pressure rate. Geno goes from a 78% completion rate when clean. He dips to 52% when pressured. And the Seahawks O-line is 27th in pass blocking efficiency. This is key right here. Seattle has faced the easiest schedule so far, according to DVOA. Now they take a massive step up versus this Browns D and this Browns defensive line. The Browns D is number 1 in pass rush win rate. The Browns D has faced a top 8 schedule of opposing offenses so far. The Seahawks O has faced a bottom 5 schedule of opposing defenses so far. Also, the ref in this game is Bill Vinovich over the last 7 seasons, 71, 42, and 3 to the under. That's 63% since 2016, 62% to the under last year. There's only projected to be 38 points scored in this one. That helps us because the lower the total, that helps out the dog in those games. 38 points is tremendously low. I almost thought about taking the under here, but I was like, I can't take another Browns under. They just scored 70. And after digging in more to that game, that shame on me. Shane Steichen, getting back to the Colts here, Shane Steichen and Gardner Minshew really good in their past game logs versus man coverage. I did not dig that tendency up until after that game, so shame on me. But I think Geno struggles here versus this man coverage of Cleveland. I know PJ Walker isn't great. I think they're going to rely on the running game. I think this is a low-scoring slugfest. I don't think Seattle should be laying 4 here. I'll take Cleveland +4 on Caesars on Sunday.
You know what I take away from that, Williams, right there? Our listeners should be encouraged by that, because what you just told them right there is not only are coaches and players out there crunching the tape about how they did on the field, you're crunching the tape about how you handicapped a game. So that's how you get better week after week. Had a 1-2 week last week. We're going to get better this week. That's all right. We're still riding high, right? You're not down. You're going to come back for the people. We're getting 3-0 this week, right?
Let's go. Super contrarian with Carolina and Denver.
You definitely are contrarian this week, so we'll see how well those work out for you. Mr. Jamriska, do we have a treat for the people at the end of this podcast, or is it coming out as a second podcast?
Oh, we're going to have a treat at the end of this podcast. We have the NBA Fast Break, the fastest 50 minutes in the NBA. Chris, Rod, and I go over our big draft. We're drafting for whoever has the most wins. Each of us takes a team, 10 teams each. I will say one thing real quick. My microphone, something happened. Not really sure what's going on. It's kind of like the Bill Simmons mea culpa at the beginning of some podcasts. Things happen. You'll hear it. It's fine. There might be a couple of little high notes, though, for you, just so you know.
Well, and also there's a couple of little nuggets thrown in there in our wins draft. We get a chance to touch a little bit on each and every team. And this will come as a shock to none of our faithful Fast Break listeners. I still am not high on the Dallas Mavericks and one Kyrie Irving.
I don't understand how Chris didn't get anyway. You listen to the podcast. Listen to the podcast.
We don't have Chris here, so I guess I should say it. Goodbye.
Well, we're not leaving.
I know, but somebody's got to get us out of this segment into the next one. And Chris,
we can't. Like, what do we do? Chris gets us out.
Exactly.
I think I'm just going to leave this in.
Looked at each other.
Williams, say something funny.
Goodbye, Internet.
There you go. All right. Fast break right now. Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. Of course, it is the first week of the NBA season. We're going to go a little bit longer than 15 minutes here. I am Jim, and we have got Rod and Chris here from Balls and Brew. The NBA season is here, and it is our brand new number one. No one's ever decided to do this before. We're going to do a draft, guys. Rod, what are you excited about here?
Listen, I enjoy any opportunity I am given to talk basketball with you two fine gentlemen, so I'm excited to start another season up here on the Fast Break. And also, Jimmy, I mean, you and I have been engaged in competition since we were, third graders, basically, on
Third
many
grade.
different levels,
Third grade.
right? Trading
Yep, third
baseball
grade.
cards at one time,
No
right?
question.
Playing backyard football games, right? Basketball games. Yet again, as 40-year-old men, I still relish the chance to wipe your face in the mud in any kind of competition, Jimmy. So thank you for that.
I cannot wait to continue to make horrendous calls like I did in the NFL. How those Chargers doing, by the way? Chris King, speaking about someone who's never right about anything. Chris King, how are you?
You are absolutely correct. I am never right about anything. Anybody that's listening should take whatever I say with a grain of salt. However, this is the NBA. This is the beginning of the season. This is when teams actually have hope. Well, most teams, I won't say all teams, but teams have hope. My Indiana Pacers, we have some hope this year. I know the East is deep, but we got a chance.
Okay, so we are going to give hope to all of our teams. We're going to have a little draft here. We're going to have a wins draft. Wins draft is very simple. We each get one pick, and we go through until we all have 10 picks. We try to pick as many great teams as we can to get the most wins at the very end of the season. At the end of the season, you get a huge prize, which means on an episode, we'll hopefully acknowledge it. We did a random draft order before this. Rod is the first pick. I am the second pick, and Chris King is the third pick. This is a snake draft, so Chris will pick twice. So basically, when Chris picks, he picks twice. When Rod picks, he picks twice. And then I pick right smack dab in the middle, the one pick you pretty much do not want in a snake draft. We are going to go wins. That's very important. Most wins, Rod. So with the first pick in the inaugural draft, Rod, who are you picking?
Well, I'm could be accused of being a homer here. I could be accused of just drafting a team based on the noisy moves they made in the offseason. I am definitely taking the Boston Celtics. All right. I believe that Boston knows their main rival is the Milwaukee Bucks. They know that they have beaten the Bucks in a game 7 before, and they were aided by the fact that it was in the Boston Garden. I believe Boston is going to go as hard as they can go. Now, I understand that there is the possibility for injury, but I have chosen, Jimmy, this entire draft. I am not going to let injuries keep me down. I'm going to try to be positive. Like Chris said, this is the beginning of the year. Sure, injuries could happen, but injuries could happen to any team. I'm not going to factor that into my drafting. The Celtics are loaded. Give me them at number 1.
Chris King, Boston Celtics number 1. Are you a little upset that they are gone? That would have been my first pick off the board as well.
I don't know if that would have been my first pick. I'm kind of happy that Rod got the first pick to make that kind of decision. I will say that they are projected to win the most games out of the NBA this year at 55 and a half. So that's not a bad pick whatsoever. I mean, listen, it's the Celtics. They have been relevant in the East for a long, long time. We know that they have one goal, and that's to win the championship. So, good pick.
All right. Hey, Chris, I need another number from you. We did this before the draft. We're going to do this not live now. I need a number between 2 and 10, Chris.
Give me 6.
Okay. We'll go back to that here in a little bit. With the second pick in the draft, I am going to take team that won the NBA championship last year. They were in first place from December all the way through the end of the season. We're going to go with the Denver Nuggets as the second pick in the draft. If anything like the first night shows, they are on top of things. Everyone is coming in pretty good injury-wise. Jokic is not going to let anybody take over. I've got the Denver Nuggets. Chris
You're
King,
not worried at
third.
all?
Yeah.
You're not worried at all about championship hangover here a little bit, Jimmy? You're not worried at all about the fact that they basically cashed it in for about 20 games at the end of last year? You don't think that that might affect your wins total and your number one overall pick, your superstar, your top team?
I'm no matter what team I picked here, they're going to tank. So it would not surprise me if the Denver Nuggets have the number one pick in the draft next year. I think that they know what it takes to win. They know that they need to have that home court advantage, especially against a Lakers team or a Suns or whomever in the Western Conference. I think they're going to continue to just go straight forward. So I've got the Denver Nuggets there. Chris King, you got two picks here. A lot of great teams, obviously, still left on the board.
Yeah, a lot of great teams. I was really hoping you were going to go somewhere else there because I kind of wanted to take the Nuggets. I agree with you that they know that they have to stay atop their game because the West did kind of reload on the offseason. Um, for my first pick, I'm going to go with a team that definitely revamped and upped their game a little bit this offseason, and that's the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, not the team I thought you were going to pick. Okay, the Milwaukee Bucks there. Huge news coming out of Milwaukee. Very strange news, no matter what. Giannis re-ups for 3 years. I believe that third year is a player option. Rod, how shocked were you here when this really saved the Bucks hundreds of millions of dollars, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think also at the same time, we are forgetting about the fact that like we're seeing numbers we've never seen before, right? Jimmy, you said 3 years, 180. I mean, that's 60 million plus a year to play basketball, right? Like guys used to love to
Not
get
bad.
60 million for like a 4 year deal would be like a big deal in the NBA once upon a time. Now Giannis is getting over 60 to play one season. So I think it's smart on Giannis's part. I really do. I think what we forget about so often is that these guys are human beings. And I just think Giannis has seen how this information cycle has worked over the last couple of years, how it's just chewed up some guys and spit them out. I'm not a huge Ben Simmons fan, but I also understand being a human being. It's had to have been terrible to be Ben Simmons these last couple of years, the way he's just been talked about and traded and all of that stuff. So Giannis doesn't want any distractions. He's on a team with a guy who has a long-term deal and Dame Lillard. He now is lined up with Dame. No questions are going to come Milwaukee's way. Nobody's going to be able to have podcasts about where's Giannis' next stop, at least not for a couple of years. I think it's actually a brilliant mental health move here by Giannis.
Yeah, Chris, I think that Rod is completely right there, and I love this pick for you in the first round. So we have the Celtics, Nuggets, and Bucks. The first three picks. Chris King, who you got in the second round?
This is a team from the West who also re-upped in this offseason. They got three guys that can take over a game and have done so before. This is a dangerous team. And I'm kind of taking Rod's thunder here a little bit. I'm not going to worry about injuries with this team, even though you should. But that's the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, the Suns. Bradley Beal's your point guard. You're a little nervous there?
Not really. You got Kevin
Okay.
Durant and Devin Booker that can also bring the ball up the court. I mean, you got three guys that can essentially do just about anything they want on a basketball court. Beal would be the third option of those three, but all he's got to do is get the ball in their hands, and then he's going to look like he's doing something great.
Rod, is this the team in the top, the top 4 or 5 here that you're most worried about injury wise? How bad this can go because of the lack of depth?
I've asked myself that question about a lot of teams, right? Depth. It's basically the new question that continues to plague all of us. Does it really matter? Or is it just a talking point that podcasters such as ourselves can use to try to parse between these all very, very good teams, right? And sure, Phoenix doesn't have a very deep roster, but you say that because they have a lot of minimum guys, right? But if Eric Gordon's right on a night, we all know how good of a player Eric Gordon can be, and he's on that team, right? So, I mean, we have, there's guys that are going to be capable on that team. I think Bradley Beal's a bit of a forgotten man. I mean, I don't think you want Bradley Beal to lead a team with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant on it, but people just kind of forgot what this guy was doing because Washington's just been so non-existent in the basketball landscape over the last couple of years that KD's going to get nicked up. I mean, just look at his previous 4 years. I mean, he's going to get nicked up. He's going to miss 20 games at least. but I think Phoenix is still probably going to be fine. I really do. So I think this is a good pick by Chris. I'm glad I didn't have to make it my pick, but I think this is probably certainly who should have been the first pick of the second round.
Yeah, I think that that's a very good pick. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting for me because I've got a couple of picks here that I don't think I'm going to get back. I think I am going to go with a team. I'm going to go with a team that it's kind of going chalk. I know. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they need to win as many games as possible in the regular season. They got embarrassed in the playoffs. They are going to go for it. I see a trade maybe coming on, maybe halfway through, just to bolster that outside shooting even more. They did get a couple players this offseason that can do that. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Am I allowed to ask a question of the prosecuting attorney, Mr. Jamriska?
Yes, you are.
This theoretical trade you're speaking of, are you just speaking of a skill they need, or do you have a particular player in mind?
Right now, they're going to need 3-point shooting. Now, I know again they got a couple people that can do it, but they were so bad last year as far as points, 3 points per game, 3-point shooting per game, that they just weren't ready for those playoff matchups, and they got killed. Jared Allen injury to start the season, a little nervous on that, but hopefully Evan Mobley will be able to come back and do some offensive things. That might be nice. Why did I
Right.
pick the Cavs? I don't know.
I don't know why you picked the Cavs either. I love that you picked the Cavs, but let me ask you a question here, Jimmy. I've got a couple of little offshoot questions that are going to come out of things that we ask right here and now. All right. So here it is with the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right. Is Donovan Mitchell's situation going to affect the Cavs? The way we started off this podcast talking about how Giannis is now not going to have to deal with that. Is that going to affect the Cavs? I think you clearly see it as spurring it on, but can it go the other way very quickly?
If the Cavs start off 6-10, well, maybe like 6-20, 3-10, something like that, then yes. But I don't think that's going to happen this year. Next year, I think, is when they're going to really have their feet to the fire. So I think this year we're okay.
One other quick one. How feasible do you think it is that the Pacers will trade Buddy Hield to a fellow contender in the Eastern Conference? Because there's a couple of teams that the Pacers could be in competition with that could really use Buddy Hield. I could think about a team down in Orlando as well that would really like Buddy Hield, right? He could certainly go well into Cleveland. Like, are the Pacers going to be willing to trade him to a team in the Eastern Conference?
I don't know why the Pacers would want to trade Buddy Hield. Every single team wants Buddy Hield. Shouldn't the Pacers want Buddy Hield as well? He's a dynamite outside shooter. He's a good teammate. He gives you so much depth. So I think the Cavs would love it. But I think the Cavs are also burnt by a little Karis LeVert situation they had where they thought they were getting somebody like that, and it really didn't turn out to where it needed to be. Rod, you have the next two picks, the last pick in the second and the first pick in the third.
Well, I am extremely excited to take this team with my final pick in the second round. I want to go ahead and caution people to understand that this Los Angeles Lakers team is a little bit different than the team we talked an awful lot about last year. Okay. We have to think more about how they played at the end of the year, how they played in the playoffs, and all the different additions they made to this team. I believe they have enough talent to still win many regular season games, even with LeBron James missing numerous games. And LeBron James has proven us all wrong so many times. The guy was all NBA last year in his 20th NBA season. So give me the Los Angeles Lakers. I believe they are also going to understand how important it's going to be one of the top 4 seeds in the West. They are going to fight hard. They got a lot of young guys, and they got one of the smartest dudes to ever play basketball in LeBron James. Give me the Lakers.
I I don't dislike this pick, but I get nervous about the Lakers in the regular season. They should have had this same type of fire the last 2 seasons to perform well enough in the regular season to get one of those top 4 seeds, and they didn't. And they got through it last year, even though they were one of the bottom tier teams, and getting through the Warriors, and then giving the Nuggets at least a little bit of a series. But I get nervous. It's not so much me having a lack of faith in LeBron James. It's me realizing that this needs to be Anthony Davis's year to really solidify himself as a leader of that team, especially on the court.
Yeah, but I think you sort of just answered your own question there, right there, though, right? Like this team's different than the Lakers team of the last couple of years, where they certainly had hype coming in, but those pieces didn't fit together well, right? They made tweaks on the fly last year and more tweaks this year. Like Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent's a Miami Heat guy. We love Gabe Vincent. He's going to be able to play every day for the Lakers, right? I mean, they got enough guys on that team. Austin Reeves, big money Austin Reeves. We saw him come on. He was the best thing the US had going in that tournament that they ended up losing other than Anthony Edwards. So I love the Lakers. And Chris, I think you almost answered your own question there, right? As you were saying it, I think you realized you're like, you know what? The Lakers actually are a lot different than the team that I'm thinking about in my head. I think
Well,
these guys mesh together well.
and I don't disagree with you either, because I even said last year that they were the one team during the trade line that actually addressed all of the issues that they had going into that trade deadline last year. And you are correct; they did play differently at the end of the season. Um, I get nervous about Anthony Davis being able to step up. That's kind of where I still am. That's where I think they are projected to get around 47 and a half wins, I think is their over under this year. That's probably pretty close. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an under that though.
Okay, so let's go underneath this pick with the first pick in the third round. Rod, who do you have? Back to back Lakers and
A lot of different ways I could go here, right? The Western Conference, in my opinion, is going to be a bloodbath. You're going to have so many teams just, having to play each other 3 and 4 times over. The East has a certain bottom where you're going to be able to have a couple of off easy nights. I'm going to go to that Eastern Conference. I'm not going to pick that mess of a team that's in Philadelphia, but I am going to pick the New York Knicks. All right.
wow.
Book it.
Okay.
Book it. This is one of my book it's, Jimmy. All right.
Uh-oh.
Here comes the money.
I got to book it, and I got no chance in hells for a couple of things that are happening this year. And my first book it that I'm giving out to the audience is New York Knicks are one of the 5 best teams in the East. Boom. Bar none. Bottom line. You're going to have some people putting this Knicks team in the play-in, and that is crazy. This Knicks team is maybe not the 4th best team in the Eastern Conference, but this team will absolutely be within that top 6, probably top 5. All right. Absolutely book it. I love the Knicks. I love what they got going on. And Tom Thibodeau chews up regular season wins and spits them out. Every game means everything to Tom Thibodeau. Give me that guy in a competition where I'm trying to stack up wins.
So you're not nervous about the every other Tibbs year rule, where every other year his team is exhausted from the previous year and they go down a little bit.
I definitely am not. That's why you bring in a Dante DiVincenzo. That's why you bring in a Josh
There you
Hart
go.
at the end of last year. These were guys that were
Playing
not
up
around and didn't
Villanova
have to suffer all the
strong. I
Tibbs
like it.
miles.
I like it, Chris King. What do you think about the Knicks here with the first pick in the third round? A little high for you?
No, I definitely kind of think they're a top 4 or 5 team. They were a 4 seed last year. I think that's probably where they'll end up again this year, maybe even as high as a 3 seed. Um, my 6th man of the year pick is Emmanuel Quickly. I think that he's going to get that this year. That dude is a legit star. He'd be starting on a lot of other teams. Him coming off the bench is a big bonus for New York.
All right. Well, there are your New York Knickerbockers. I am ecstatic to get this team that had a kind of a weird year last year. And it's my turn to jinx them this year, I guess. The Golden State Warriors I am picking with the second pick in the third round. Over under is 47.5. I like that total. I think Klay Thompson really needs to show something this year or he will not be a Warrior moving forward. Chris Paul is going to get to start the season because Draymond is hurt. So Chris Paul will be happy. Steph Curry, last I checked, is one of the best players ever. So I think we will be good there. I like the Golden State Warriors as my second pick in the third round, Rod.
You just always choose violence against our brothers out on the West Coast, right? You're always the Chargers, right? The Rams, you've jinxed.
Yep.
I mean, you're just always wishing violence upon our brothers out on the West Coast. I apologize to any TMYK Nation members out there on the West Coast.
I'm going to have so few wins that we're not even going to have to add them up by the end of the season. You know what I mean, Chris King?
I am so happy you took the Warriors. That makes me so happy because I know I'm hoping that you do to the Warriors what you've done to the Chargers. And if that happens, nothing will make me happier. And you're not wrong. Klay Thompson has got to play his butt off this year if he wants to stick with the Warriors and get that bag of money he wants. And if he doesn't, if he plays like he did the last season, when he did play, then he's not getting that bag of money.
All right, Chris. Well, speaking of bags of money, all your picks have been money. We have the Bucks and the Suns so far. You've got back-to-back ones here. Who you got?
Okay, so I kind of understand, but I'm a little upset by your guys' last couple picks. The fact that this podcast is the unofficial
Wow.
Midwestern Sacramento Kings fan club.
Let's go.
We haven't even got them. I am taking the Kings at this pick. I actually have them going over their 44.5 expected wins and winning their division over the likes of those Warriors, over the likes of those Lakers, over the likes of the Suns, even who I picked before them, just because I kind of wanted to hedge my bets. This team is a legitimate team. We saw them last year. I don't think we're going to see a regression like everyone seems to think we will. I think Sabonis and Fox is still a legitimate top tier duo in the NBA. So I say Sacramento Kings.
Jimmy, allow me here. All right.
Yeah.
This is a chance for me to do something that I really appreciate in the professional wrestling world, but I've not really had a great chance to do it here on this podcast. I'm heel turning. I'm going for a Sacramento Kings downturn this year. I'm off the bus. I'm no longer riding the Sacramento Kings fan bus here in the Midwest. I'm no longer lighting the beam. I do not believe this team is going to be able to put it together. I think, unfortunately, a little bit of what last year was everybody was in the right place at the right time. There was a lot of teams in the Western Conference that didn't have their stuff figured out. The Lakers didn't quite have the right roster. Kevin Durant wasn't quite yet on the Phoenix Suns, right? Like, there was just a lot of stuff that was in flux in the Western Conference last year. They had amazing injury luck. Sabonis played basically through a broken hand, but I still have to continue to question Sabonis as your team's best player. And I'm on Sacramento under this year. So it's a heel turn by me there, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
I'm not surprised, Jimmy. It's Rod rooting for a team he supposedly likes to lose.
It's like Seth Rollins taking that chair to Dean Ambrose when the Shield broke up. Ridiculous, Rod. Keegan Murray's going to have an amazing season this year. He's really going to step it up. And I love this pick by Chris King. Chris King can do no wrong in my eyes, except for in football. And we'll talk about that on the Balls and Brew podcast that you already heard. But anyway, Chris King, who's your first pick in the fourth round?
So this team definitely has some questions here at the beginning of the season. I think they made a move in the offseason to kind of downplay this issue, and I'm going with the Grizzlies. All right. I'm still a believer in John Morant. I know he's out for the first 25 games. That still gets him into like around 55 to 57 games for the season. I think with Marcus Smart on this team now, they can weather this storm of the first 25 games. If they can win 12 to 13 games out of this first 25, I think they are still on pace to get their 50 wins when Ja comes back.
Jimmy, does Chris understand the rules of this, that we're trying to draft teams that we think are going to win a lot of games? Does he understand that?
I think that he likes teams that have vibrant colors right now because the Suns are very, very vibrant. The Kings have that purple. The Grizzlies have all those colors, and the Bucks have, well, purple, I guess, as well. So, that's a tough one for me, Chris, and that's me saying that. Think about that for a second, okay? I think that the Ja thing might linger on more than we think it is. Even if he does come back after 25 games, it's going to take a long time for him to get back into the swing of things there. I am a little nervous on the Grizzlies. Steven Adams out for the season now. They still need that center. I mean, what are they going to do with that? They're going to have a trade. Me and my trades for nobody. You got to like that. Rod, they do have a lot of number one picks, though, coming up.
I mean, these are humans, okay? These people are humans. We used to give Marcus Smart a bunch of grief for like yelling at everybody in Boston, right? And then all of a sudden he was the heart and soul of the Celtics, and how could they afford for him to be gone, right? And now all of a sudden he's going to come to this team where it's clear we have issues and maybe guys aren't 100% selling out for doing everything they need to be doing 24/7, right? And then all of a sudden we expect things are going to be great. And again, Chris, you love defense. Steven Adams and Brandon Clark were huge parts of this team that I think you have romanticized in your head as this winning, scrappy Grizzlies ball club. Brandon Clark ain't walking through that door this year until at least after the All-Star break. Steven Adams ain't walking through that door at any point this year. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, up in Minnesota, okay? And the guys that are coming in now to try to play defense, Derrick Rose. Good luck. Good luck with Derrick Rose and Santi Aldama and Kenny Lofton Jr. These are the guys that are rolling in for this Grizzlies team. I think there's way more attrition to this team than we're letting ourselves realize. I love that you took the Grizzlies. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're going to love this pick too because see that bandwagon over in the corner? I'm jumping on it. I'm on the bandwagon with my oxen, if you will. Oklahoma City Thunder, my pick in the 4th round. Their over-under is 44.5. Great young team. They want to win this season. Hopefully everyone stays healthy. It's a big hope, especially with Chet Holmgren, who missed all last season. I like Oklahoma City Thunder in this position.
Yeah, I don't dislike that pick at all. They were right under the Grizz on my tier list. I also have Chet Holmgren winning Rookie of the Year over Victor.
Ah,
I just
okay.
I think that even though he missed last year, he's had an extra off season of workouts and training and everything else like that. He's going to be better than what he would have been coming in last year. I see him making a step forward, and him and SGA having a great combo between the two of them. So I like it.
All right, Rod, I also wanted to give you a pretty tough choice here because there are some big names left on this board. We have some Aaron Rodgers, Brady Quinn types falling down the draft board. Maybe the matchups didn't really work out with our squads. Rod, you've got 2 picks here, and there's some pretty decent teams still left on the board.
Yeah, there definitely is, right? There's one team over in the Western Conference that plays in a cold weather city that I'm
Yeah,
kind of surprisingly high on, believe it or not. But I think the team I'm going to take right
those
now,
Bulls.
no, it's definitely not the Chicago Bulls. It's definitely not the Chicago Bulls. The team I'm going to take right now plays in a city that you wouldn't associate with cold at all.
Code.
It would be hot Atlanta. Give me the
Oh,
Atlanta Hawks.
wow.
Okay. I believe that the NBA season is such a grind that you need an absolute maniacal, possible criminal mastermind genius like Quinn Snyder. Okay. Look at the man's regular season records in Utah with probably far less talent at times than he has on this Atlanta Hawks team. He's got a whole off season and a whole training camp now to have this team be more in his image. Give me Quinn Snyder winning regular season games.
You're going to love my next statement here, Rod. This is my book it.
Here comes the money.
The Hawks will not make the playoffs.
Wow.
So you win. They're going to have the best record in the league.
Listen, I love it. Tell me why, Jimmy. Tell me why you think Quinn Snyder's not going to be, he's going to all of a sudden have the first bad regular season in his career.
That's the only thing that worries me a little bit because they did make a good hire there, but it's the same team. Trae Young is the same player. Nothing's going to happen different. Where's the defense? I just don't see it. I know a lot of people are on that bandwagon. A lot of people love the Hawks. I just don't see it this year.
Okay, Jimmy, again, we'll go to your trades. This is a gimmick for us now. Your trades for nobody that you have any idea. But what we hear is that Clint Capella may possibly be on the market because they just gave Onyeka Okongwu a bunch of money behind him, right? Do you think there's a chance that there's enough out there in the market that the Hawks could get something back for him, and then you'd change your mind about them?
So who's going to give up a 3-and-D wing that every single team wants for Clint Capella?
A team that maybe has an extra one but needs an interior presence? Come on, nothing's impossible, Jim. We've seen Kyrie Irving traded. Nothing is impossible in the NBA.
Valid point. Valid point, Chris King. I don't know, Chris. Hawks.
I mean, if they win 41 games, which is below 500, they're in the playoffs in the East. All right, let's just be honest here. So that's a big, big book it by you, Jamie, for them not making the playoffs. But it is Atlanta. I don't ever really expect much from them. I know they're only a couple years removed from actually getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, but man, that's a stretch for them to get there. I think there's still other teams out there that are probably going to win more than Atlanta this year. I still think they make the play.
Okay. You think they make the playoffs? Rod, what's your first pick in the 5th round?
All right, then I'm at this point. I got to take value here. Okay, I think the Philadelphia 76ers have fallen
I
too
think that's
far.
the right
All right,
pick.
I mean
Yeah.
you're giving me a league MVP at this point, right? I mean they're going to get something back for James Harden, or they're just going to be addition by subtraction when he finally does get out of town, or he's going to choose to come and play, right? And they'll figure the circus out to the fact where they'll still win a few ball games. Like just if you're giving me Joel Embiid and you're giving me Tyrese Maxey, who's one of my guys to look out for. I wasn't quite willing to make him one of my absolute, book it or no chance in hells, but I'm really looking out for Tyrese Maxey to do good things in Harden's absence. So you give me Philadelphia 76ers as my 5th pick. I'll take it all day.
I think that's good value. They had to be taken at some point. James Harden still MIA, and the season starts now. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. Chris King, do you think that that 48.5 over and under, I can't get that still, Chris. I don't understand that.
I think that when they came out with that initial is just because they thought Harden was still going to play. Um, you got to expect Harden be worth at least 5 extra wins to 7 extra wins on a season. Um, I don't know if we'll see him play. I'm kind of glad Rod took them because I don't know what I would have done if they were still available on my pick. I would have had to really think about it because he's right. They got Joel Embiid. Tyrone Maxey is probably going to be the most improved player this year, more than likely. That was at least who my comeback player of the
Spicy.
year
I wasn't
is.
even willing to go there. Look at you.
Yeah, so I mean, there could be, like Rod said, value there. So not a bad pick. I'm just glad I didn't have to make it.
So a pick I'm kind of disgusted with myself here, but I think they have to do something in the regular season
Oh no.
because they proved it.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
no, I am.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Hey, I'm burning everything to the ground. I'm burning that whole. Do I have every except for the Lakers? No, I don't have the Kings either. I'm going to go the Clippers here.
Oh
Why
my
not?
God.
Let's just anarchy is key. They have to do something in the regular season. They are so messed up. This is it. They're going to trade for James Harden. I lost already. It's fine. Los Angeles Clippers are my pick. Over under 46.5.
So, Chris, we're in the middle of a regular season wins pool, okay? And our guy, we love him, our executive producer, our backbone, all right? Our guy literally just picked a team whose 2 players basically choose to not play regular season games. What just happened?
Let's go.
Yeah, the Clippers are an enigma. All right, it's a franchise of futility. It seems like over there. I actually,
Ooh.
one of my bookets is that Ty Lue is not the coach of the Clippers next year.
Here comes the money.
Wow. That's some spice right there, because I would think that he's actually one of their best assets. That's some serious spice out of you.
I mean, the franchise isn't going to win a championship the way this roster is constructed. I don't care. I mean, you there's no way you're getting Leonard and Paul George healthy for an entire season, no matter what you do. No way you're going to win a championship with this roster. Owners are going to have to realize this at some point, and it's just going to be like I don't think they even have no George, Leonard, and Lou don't have contracts for next season. If they have a bad regular season or get ousted in the first round of the playoffs, you think they're going to spend money to bring those guys back? No.
All right, I'm going to triple down on this sucker. There's no chance in hell the Clippers fall below the 3rd seed in the Western
Whoa.
Conference.
Whoa.
Whoa.
He's just committing suicide now on the podcast.
Here comes the money.
Sticking to
They're
your
going
guns,
for
Jimmy.
it.
I like it.
Chris King, last pick of the 5th round.
Okay, we are getting down to some nitty gritty stuff, fellas. We gotta look for some value, and this is a team I'm actually surprised hasn't been picked yet, considering they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and that's the
Oh,
Miami Heat.
culture. You and culture. Always culture with you.
Can you decline that there is a good culture in Miami that keeps them competitive year in and year out?
How many wins do you think that a team that's going to be in the play-in is going to have over a team that might, let's say, be a top 6 seed in the actual playoffs and not necessarily a play-in team here like the Miami Heat were last year?
In the East, you're going to have a game and a half probably between number 6 and number 8. And maybe 9 and 10 are like a few games below that, but you're going to essentially have a game and a half between 6 and 8, maybe even 5 and 8.
Jimmy, I would argue there are 2 teams left in the Eastern Conference right now, possibly even 3 that are going to have a better record than the Heat in the regular season.
There is, because the Heat are always, Chris likes to use that word enigma a lot. The Heat are an enigma where they just kind of pull it out. There's got to be one year that they have a really good regular season, though, right?
They had a
Maybe.
lot of injuries last year too during the regular season, maybe even in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
All
What do
right.
you think worth?
Six.
Wait, let me ask this. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I got
Yes.
one final one for you
You're
here,
good.
Chris. What do you think is worth more, actually getting Damian Lillard or James Harden or somebody good on the team, or just betting on a Tyler Hero FU season? Which one do you think you'd actually rather have? Because you know which one Miami's going with, but which one do you think you'd rather have?
I really thought they were going to get Lillard. I really thought so. Of course, you want Lillard over a Tyler Hero, but you can't deny that the team plays
Now
well
hold
together.
on. Don't sell him short. It's not just a Tyler Hero. I'm giving you a Tyler Hero on an FU season on the No One Believes in Me.
I mean, he can't be worse than what he was last year. He's going to improve because he, like you said, he's going to
I don't
try
know
to
if he's
prove
gonna
to
improve or not.
everybody.
I don't know. We listen, we shouldn't tell the people he's gonna improve. We don't know if Tyler Hero's gonna
Listen,
improve.
his
Don't tell
their
them
over
that.
under was 46 and a half games. I think that's a little high maybe. I think it's probably closer to 45, 44 games they win, but still. 5th round, 44 games, my
I
teams
think
are
you
still
just
batting
drafted
over
a 9
500.
seed. I think you just drafted a 9 seed, and I'm again, thank you for drafting.
Okay, here we go. 6th round. The first. Wait a minute, Chris. You picked 6 earlier, didn't you?
No,
That
I
means in this. No, you picked you. No. You picked the number 6 when I asked you for a number between 2 and 10. The
yeah,
number 6 is going to be our drafting for each other round. So in the 6th round, I will draft Chris King's team. Rod will draft my team, and Chris will draft Rod's team for
Wow.
the wins total.
so it's my
So
pick and I'm drafting for
uh,
Rod, or it's my
no,
pick
no,
and you're
no,
drafting for
no.
me.
I'm drafting for you and Chris King with your pick in the 6th round. This is for all those wrong things you said, Chris. The Washington Wizards are your squad in the 6th round, bud. Congratulations. Go Washington. I will say, though, you're welcome because the Wizards are going to be the 8th seed now just because I gave it to you. Congratulations, Chris.
Oh, lovely. I think you could have
Good
done
enough
worse,
scoring.
but
I don't think I could have. Like, literally could
you're
not
not
have.
wrong.
But
I don't know how they're going to score. I don't know who they have. Is Thomas Bryant still there? He can score maybe 10 points.
No. That's not going to be the Wizards' problem. The Wizards have 2
It's
dudes
the
who are going to
defense.
definitely be looking to get the ball up, right? Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma are going to be looking to get theirs. Like, go to Washington and see them dudes put up 30 shots each. All
I
right,
mean,
that's what you're
if
going to
you
see in
see
Chocolate
Kuzma
City
on
this
the
year.
floor, you may see him shoot 30 shots, but you got to see
Ooh,
him on the
okay.
floor first.
Well, there you go.
Rod, who you got for me?
Who do I have for you, Jimmy? I have
Yeah.
for you a team that is going to play a boatload of young dudes and try to let them figure out, and playing young dudes never works out. This team also isn't interested in being good. This team will also probably trade numerous players that are on their roster right now. Jimmy, I'm giving you the Portland Trailblazers.
Let's go. At least I get to root for Scoop. You know what I mean? That'll be fun. I think that'll be a good squad. They're going to have young players. They're going to be fun to watch. I think they're going to get their butts kicked a lot. I got DeAndre Ayton in there. Maybe he's going to take over from the 3 guards that really shoot a lot and to try to take over. That could be an absolute unmitigated disaster, but at least I get to root for Scoop, so that's good.
You do
Chris
get
King,
to.
this is key. Chris, I want you to just burn him. Burn him. What are you going to give him?
I am looking now. Oh, kind of want to give him them. but I could also give him these guys because they're not that good. Oh. I am going to give Rod. Oh.
There's only one team you really need to give him, dude. Give him the team you should give him. Think about it for a second. Who cares? It's the joke.
Oh, I'm going to give him the Pistons.
Okay. Gonna go with the Pistons. Gonna go with the less wins over the joke. Probably would have gone with the joke in my mind, but that's okay.
I thought about it, but like I kind of want to see
You kind of
Rod
want to win
lose.
this. I understand. Yeah, I don't know what winning is in these things, so that's fine. The Detroit Pistons. Rock, congratulations. You have 9 centers on your team.
Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, let's go. Being led by the highest paid coach in NBA history, Notre Dame grad Monty Williams. Proud Irish.
All right, Rod. We got 7, 8, 9, and 10. We got 4 rounds to go, Rod. Give us your pick in the 7th round.
Well,
First
listen,
pick.
some of these teams at this point, we don't have too much to say, right? So this is
Nope.
my pick here. Okay, I get to make a pick for my own team. Just trying to clarify that here. All right, give me the Minnesota Timberwolves. Boom. I believe in Chris Finch.
Yeah.
I believe in Anthony Edwards. I like a few of the other pieces they have up there. I think actually Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns are going to play better together for a little while. Maybe it actually ultimately does get broken up, but I think they're going to play a little better together for a tad bit. So give me the Timberwolves.
I like the Timberwolves in that spot as well. Kind of like my team I'm going to pick. We're just going to go on to the second pick in the 7th round. The New Orleans Pelicans. I believe in Zion.
Yeah.
Why?
That's almost who I picked, Jimmy.
Squad.
That's almost who I picked.
Yeah, I think I believe in Zion. I think he's going to play over 20 games this year, which is the most he's ever played in a season. So let's go with the New Orleans Pelicans there. Chris King, third
You
pick.
really
in the
are
7th
like
round.
a mash unit. Like I am just looking over your team. You really are just like a mash unit at this point now with some of your squads.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Chris, come on, buddy. Who you got?
Okay, you guys took my next 2 picks, so thank you very much. I know you guys love
You're
it when you
welcome.
steal picks.
Sure.
So I am going to go with somebody who I still kind of believe in. They have an MVP candidate on their team every year. He is their floor general. I am going to take the Dallas Mavericks. I know you guys are shaking your heads, but this is the end of the 7th round, all right? So that means we're saying there's almost 20 teams better than them. I'm going to take the Mavs.
Go ahead, Rod.
Jimmy, listen, I asked you to cook up something for me. All right. I'm gonna give you a second or two here, Jimmy. Give it to me right now because I got 3 different no chance in hell things about the Dallas Mavericks coming at you.
No chance, that's what you got.
Starting number 1, boom. No chance in hell Jason Kidd makes it past the All-Star game as the Dallas Mavericks coach. Boom. He's the first thing to go. He's the first thing on the hot seat. And when this thing goes south, and notice I said when this thing goes south, he's the first guy to get jettisoned, okay? There are bad things going on in the culture of the Dallas Mavericks. We all love Mark Cuban because he's cuddly and soft on TV as the Shark Tank guy. But bad things are afoot in the Mavericks organization. We know about the terrible sexual harassment thing. All of a sudden, at the beginning of this year, long time people associated with the Mavericks operations were just shuttled out of jobs and shipped off for no reason. Mark Cuban is getting a little bit crazy in there, so he's going to bounce Jason Kidd. They gave Kyrie Irving money. He's going to be demanding a trade. Jason Kidd does not make it to the All-Star game. No chance in hell, number 2. No chance in hell Kyrie Irving makes it to the end of the season either, okay? I believe Kyrie engineered all of this to ultimately still land with the Lakers. I believe the Lakers signed D'Angelo Russell to an overinflated 2-year contract, basically just to flip that to the Dallas Mavericks to ultimately get Kyrie Irving. So give me that as that. And the third, no chance in hell the Mavericks sniff anywhere near the playoffs, which in turn means Luka Doncic cannot then be an MVP candidate because you can't be a most valuable player from a team that's going to stink that bad. Mavericks, bad things. Fans in Dallas, I apologize, but I don't like what's going on down in Mavericks. 3, no chance in hells.
And you gave him the Pistons, Chris. The no chance in hell of Kyrie Irving not making it through the season, I don't think is very difficult. But my question is the D'Angelo Russell aspect there. Aren't the Mavs going to want Austin Reeves too?
Austin Reeves is untouchable.
Okay. I wouldn't trade it to the Lakers for anything on that one. Chris, I know he just ran you over with the car there. Why don't you pick another team here that's maybe hopefully Rod will okay in the future?
Listen, we're getting down to the nitty gritty, right, boys? I only have really 3 picks left. I need to find value in these picks to pick teams that I think are going to go over their projected win total. And I know you may think I'm a homer, but this is my team. I expect better things for them this year. I
Oh,
expect
this
them
is
to
the pick.
win.
This is the pick.
I'm taking the
Yeah.
Pacers.
Yeah, this is the pick. I
Yeah,
can't
that's a
argue
good
this
pick.
one. There's
I'm
only
gonna pick
3
the
Western
Pacers there,
Conference
too.
teams left. All we got left are basically Eastern Conference teams, and some of these teams are going to win more than the ones left. So, I mean, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I am going to go with they need to. Well, no, they either need to win or lose. I'm going to go with the Magic. I just think that they are
Love
that
it.
young up and coming team who's been young and up and coming for a long time now. Let's just go with the Orlando Magic in the 8th round. Rod, 8th round pick.
Here comes the
Jimmy,
money.
I'm going to give you a quick book it. Book it.
Oh,
Orlando Magic playoffs. All right. I'm not going to qualify it any
Ooh.
further than that, but Orlando Magic playoffs. Book it.
Okay.
Is it my
The Orlando
selection now?
Magic in the playoffs. Yes, it's your selection. 8th
All
round.
right. Okay. You know what? Give me the Brooklyn Nets. I don't like a lot of what goes on up in Chicago, so I'm going to take the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to bet on Mikal Bridges and a few of those other guys kind of just playing with the chip on their shoulder and Jacques Vaughn being a good coach. I don't know if any of that's true, but that's what I'm going to bank on at this point, this low in the draft.
I think that's a pretty good pick up there. Again, a young team. They're going to play the hardest they can. I don't think they have their pick, so there's nothing to tank for there. Rod, first pick in the 9th round.
All right, so my second to final team, I am going to go with. I'm doing it. Give me the San Antonio Spurs. Give me Wemby. I want him to be somebody I have to pay attention to. If he comes through and does anything like some of what we've seen out of this guy, it's going to be spectacular. I mean, his ability to bring the ball up the court, throw the ball off to somebody on the wing, put his hand up in the air, and then basically jump from beyond the free throw line and dunk it is just absolutely amazing. Guys are already terrified to come anywhere near the lane when he's in there. If Greg Popovich allows this guy to play, because guess what? He doesn't fall anywhere in the must play 65 games thing. He's not a designated all-star. So he can't win rookie of the year, but Pop probably won't care about that anyway. The Spurs will never get fined for letting this guy play less than 65 games. So I still worry about that, but give me San Antonio here, Jimmy.
Okay, I like that. And then I'm going to go with Houston, just right down the road from San Antonio there, and a long road, but a road nonetheless. I think the Rockets are going to try the best they possibly can. It's the top 4 protected pick they have, so they could maybe try to tank at the end. But I like the Rockets. I think they're going to try to win. Ime Udoka is a very good coach. He will take you out in a heartbeat if you're not playing defense or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I think Jalen Green is going to just excel in that position if he wants it. So I have the Houston Rockets there. Chris, your last pick in the 9th round, then your final pick.
I can't. I'm so glad you guys took those 2 teams. All right. I think they're going to be right up there with the Wizards and the Pistons and the Blazers for right around 28, 27 wins, maybe. If they get that high. I don't believe in those teams at all. Thank you. I'm going to pick a couple teams that you guys have maybe overlooked that are probably going to win closer to 35 plus games this year. For the first pick, I'm going to take the Bulls. And then for my very last pick, I'm going to take Toronto. Give me the Raptors.
Yeah, honestly, I think for your last 2 picks, that's pretty good value there. The Raptors are just so weird. Who knows what they're going to do in with trade? Oh, I guess we know what they're going to do with trades. Nothing at all. The last 2 picks here, we've got the Jazz and the Hornets available. Man, the Hornets just have kind of grossness on them, don't they? I think I'm good. I'm going to go Utah Jazz.
Listen, every time I turn around, somebody else from Charlotte's getting in trouble, or they have a court date, or something funny is going on. It happened again today. I agree with you. I wouldn't trust Charlotte as far as you can throw them.
Listen, these guys are not asked to be role models. These guys are basketball players, okay? There is a lot of athletic talent on this Charlotte Hornets team. This is Steve Clifford, who's actually taken the Charlotte Hornets to the playoffs before with an awful lot of the players on this roster. LaMelo Ball in a bounce-back season. Brandon Miller, the number 2 overall pick. Who cares if he was involved in a gun situation or not? I don't know. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. He can play basketball. This is a basketball podcast. The Charlotte Hornets are a fine pickup for me, even though I didn't actually choose them.
And that is going to do it. Let's go over real quick the teams. Rod has the Boston Celtics, LA Lakers, the Knicks, the Hawks, the 76ers, the Pistons, the Timberwolves, Nets, Spurs, and Hornets. I have the Nuggets, Cavs, Warriors, Thunder, Clippers, Trailblazers, Pelicans, Magic, Rockets, and Jazz. Sorry to all those fan bases. Chris has the Bucks, Suns, Kings, Grizzlies, Heat, Wizards, Mavericks, Pacers, Bulls, and Raptors. And looking at it, I like Chris's crappy teams better than my crappy teams, and I might like them better than yours too, Rod. But I don't know. I think I like your top 2 picks pretty good there, Mr. Morgan.
Yeah, listen, you give me Celtics, you give me Lakers, right? I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody in on something else right now. That is my pick for your NBA Finals. We are gonna be steeped in history and nostalgia. These teams are gonna be chasing for number 18, baby. Celtics versus Lakers in the finals. Let's go.
And that will do it for your extended NBA Fast Break on the More You Know Podcasting Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod is a show that we also have. We also have Balls and Brew, and we also have a huge Morgan You Know special coming up soon. But Chris, I believe you're the one that takes us home on this show.
Light the beam, internet.